Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you watched our first video on setting up the wood-fired grill to evaporate some maple sap. And we're about 35 minutes into it, and we've got the fire going really well here, as you can see. No problem with that. We're going to keep adding wood as we need, and you can see our evaporation is starting to happen. Now I'm going to check and just see what we've got for a temperature. Of course, we're using, as we explained in our first video, we're using direct heat, direct wood-fired wood heat on the bottom of the stainless pan, and the exhaust is coming directly up through that pan as well. You might be able to see some flames flickering in there, but we're using that exhaust stack as well to heat our sap to get the evaporation rate up. As I check with my infrared gun here, we're about 300 degrees on that exhaust stack, and over on the metering valve here, where we're warming this, we've got above 200 degrees there. So we're going to go ahead, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to open up our metering valve here just a little bit, and there we go. I'm going to start to meter off some of the sap from the warming tank, as you can see. Need to start doing that. Let's go ahead and check the temperature. Now you can see our probe is down in more towards the bottom of the evaporation pan. We're at about 175 degrees, so it's warmed up quite nicely. Now when we put the sap in here this morning, there was quite a bit of ice in the sap, so it was cold last night. It was about 25 degrees last night. And so the sap probably went in about, in that 32 to 35 degree range perhaps. And in about 35 minutes we're starting to get some pretty good evaporation. You can see I'm starting to meter that. I can adjust that as I need to as the evaporation rate goes up. And I've got my sap here ready to go in, and I think I've got about 10 gallons altogether. I believe there's between the 10 gallons between the warming tank up on the top and then my main evaporation tank down on the bottom here. So working quite nicely, and we'll be back in a little bit with our next video.